Alright, in this video I'm going to be tying the St. John's High Tie Minnow. This is a great all-around pattern. You're definitely going to catch shad on it, but you're probably going to catch some decent bycatch as well. Panfish seem to love this fly, small bass, gar, so it's a good fly to have in your fly box. I usually use this as my alternate to a kiptail clouser. In the vise I have a size 6 3366A. Size 6. Let's see. I'm going to be tying the fly with some red Danville's flat wax nylon. And I want to start the fly, or start my thread about a hook eye and a half behind the eye. And then I just want to build up a nice big bump. Something about like that. I'm going to go ahead and snip away the excess. For the bottom part of the wing, I'm going to be using some white kiptail. So I'll go ahead and cut a section of that out. I'm going to pull away the fluff. And then I just hold it by the tips and pull any of the short hairs out. Then we're going to flip the hook over, because we're actually at the end of this fly going to tie on a bead chain, and go ahead and tie in the bottom part of our wing. And you want that wing to really just come just past the tip of the hook. My thread back forward. And then capture that wing. Check your length. That looks about right. Give a couple good locking wraps there. And then snip away the excess. And you can see the bump is helping the wing kind of stand up, but I'm going to go ahead and make a couple of wraps behind the wing just to assist. Really want that to kind of stand up just like that. Alright, next we're going to tie in a bit of flash, and I'm just going to be using some orange flash accent or flashaboo here. You really only need 2 strands or so. I like to fold it in half and then fold it in half again around your thread, and then you want to capture that on top of the hook. I like to try to get, kind of half the strands on one side, half on the other, and then you can kind of just snip the flashaboo just a little bit longer than that tail is. Looks pretty good. The top part of the wing, I'll go ahead and use some orange flashaboo, and I like to tie this pattern in orange over white and pink over white. Those are kind of my go-to colors. This fly I'm going to be doing some orange. So I'll go ahead and cut a section of orange out. Same thing, just pull out the fluff, grab it by the tips, and pull out any of the short hairs. And then you want this portion of the wing to be about the same length as the lower portion of the wing. Go ahead and capture that. And I kind of like to lift up my orange. It's alright if you can't get all of it. And just make a pass or two behind it as well. And that just helps everything kind of stand up. Looks good. And the key here is really try to keep the wing on the bottom of the hook. And I might make another pass or two behind the whole wing. You kind of have to eyeball it. That looks better. And then I'll snip away my excess. Now I'm just going to go ahead and flip it all over and tie on a bead chain eye. After I snip away some stragglers here. Alright, we'll just go ahead and whip finish. And I like to whip finish this behind the bead chain eyes. And then I'll just snip away the thread. To finish the fly, I'll just flip it over and just touch the thread wraps with some Sally Hansen's to protect them and the eye. And that is the St. John's High Tie Minnow. You can see, the posture of this minnow pattern is slightly different. It's a high tie, so it angles down when you're fishing it. It looks like a small bait fish really diving for the bottom, trying to get down and hide. And I find that this pattern can elicit strikes when the fish are kind of sluggish, say if a front came through or there's a cold snap. There's just something about this pattern that the fish just seem to like. So I always carry it in my fly box as an alternate to kip-tail clousers, which I tend to tie more with hourglass eyes. So sometimes just kind of changing up the weight and depth that you're fishing can help, and then just that kind of aggressive posture of the fish making a dive for bottom can be very successful. So give it a shot. It's a great fly.